Hello friends and welcome to Intronaut channel. This is the place here on YouTube where we do weekly tarot reading, and today I invite you to join me on the third reading of November. So for me it is always interesting to peek into the energies that will support us this week. So as I said, you are all welcome to join me. Before we start the reading, we usually interconnect, allowing a space for stuff to come, to happen, and to, allowing the stuff to come and happen. So, the most easiest way to do it is with sound. So, if you have an instrument, take it, or sing a song, or listen to the sound, or maybe listen to my creations, and look at the view of the city that I live in, and that will do. So for a minute maybe I invite you to do some inner connecting. That was nice. It's nice when it's sunny. It wasn't sunny for a long time here, so I think everybody should enjoy some sun. So let's do the reading now. It's kind of windy too, so we'll have to watch out not to get my cards all over the heel. So these are my cards. Usually the first card I choose is the card that represents the support for the beginning of the week, and the card that is kind of capturing that energies is the card, well, I'm not sure if you can see it because of the shade, but it's the devil card. um, what usually is very important when this card comes out is that we recognize what is happening at that moment when we see this picture, what is happening to us, and recognize that. So, to get familiar with this, what is this happening when I see this picture, you know? And the next thing I would like to say about this card, that this card is really rich, not only in a picture and in symbolism, but also in a meaning, and it has this great message that is, the carrier of the great message. For me, what is this card saying is that in the beginning of the week, some situations may come up, the situations like the ones that we don't like, um, or we don't like to get involved in this kind of stuff, or something that now and again comes up and makes us our life terrible, and then disappears, and now and again it comes up, and it's like this, so these kind of situations may appear, and this card is pointing that these kind of situations do not appear in vain. There is a purpose for these situations. So we have to understand that even if we do our best to get out of this, or even if we use all the knowledge that we have and all the willpower to get out of it, it's not possible. So this is the only bad news. But the good news is that if we only look at them, they are not looking at each other, but they are all staring at you. So it is you who can do the change. It is only you who can come out of this situation. And this is by taking different decisions or making different choices. So if you are wondering how come this situation come and go, and then take a bit of energy, and then disappear, and then later come again and make our life terrible and miserable and stuff like that, and then disappear and come again. So this is why, because every time this situation come up, we make the same decision. We make the same decisions that leads to the same results. So what is maybe important for this week, if something like that happens, that we make a different decisions, that we change our decision and do it differently this time. So if I can sum up this in a practical example, it's like, let's say you loved eating chocolate all your life, and suddenly you are not allowed to eat chocolate anymore because your body resents it or something. So every time you have a piece of chocolate, you get sick, and then you had to get better, and then when you get better, you're better, and then again this urge arises for chocolate, and then you have a piece of chocolate because you cannot help yourself, and then you get sick, and then you have to get over it, and then you're good for some time, and then again this, and then again and again. So this feeling bad and sickness and because this will not stay like this. It will get worse, because eventually you will have to have 2 pieces of chocolate, and then you will get even more sick. So this is not the solution. The solution is to make a different decision, to not take chocolate. Make a different decision this time. Make it different. Make a difference. So it will be easier for you to then accept this decision every day. Every time this urge arises, it will be less and less urge. It will be a bit of a need, and then a wish, and then it will disappear. Yeah, it will not be urge anymore. So this is my suggestion for the beginning of the week. And if I may add a bit, that this card is really in balancing stuff. It's really about balancing. So if they're at peace if we look at them, but that's why, because they see the bigger picture. So they're not worried about about their little existence, but they're seeing the bigger picture. So the by this, when these situations come up, it's the turning point for balance, for creating balance in life, in world. So the beginning of the week. And the next card that will follow will kind of point the energies that will support us in the middle of the week. And of course it can also suggest that this is what we will gain by accepting, making a decision. We will gain conformity. If you don't see it, it's a 2 of Swords. So this is a very nice card, even though it's with swords, which suggests again maybe human relationships, but maybe a difficulty in human relationships. But if we look at it, it's lady seated on the stone seat, firmly with her feet on the ground. It suggested that he's grounded and supported by earth. So she is dressed in white with a little bit of dirty. So it suggests, if she comes from purity. But in order to gain what she's having, you need to get a bit dirty, like this, right? Her eyes are also covered with white, so it suggests that she doesn't have to see to know, you know. She's really in this trust in her inner feeling, in her heart is telling her the truth. So she doesn't have to look for it, she doesn't have to see it, she knows it, right? So both of her arms are crossed, crossing to the other side and meeting at the point of the heart. So this means balance, definitely balance, inner balance. And if we look at the hands, sometimes, and this time also suggests like wings, from which swords are risen. So, and also the swords are, uh, getting out of the frame of the picture. So this card suggests courage, you know. So we'll have some courage to do maybe things because of our inner balance. We'll have, this card also says friendship, and this is the trust, the trust in the heart, and the trust in the feelings that comes from the inside. So I think this card suggests again balancing, maybe at the beginning of the week will be balancing, the interpersonal relationships that appear outside of us, but in the middle of the week will be maybe, balancing the inner relationships, the relationships that we have with people in our head. So maybe and in our heart. This is not a joke, but I really mean that. So let's see what the third card is, and the third card will kind of, point to the end of the story, and of course to the energies that will support us in the end of the weekend. And of course, again, this is a really nice card, and this is also, as you can see, a scale, and it's also about balance. And let's say that this gentleman is, he's only dressed as a merchant because usually he doesn't deal with money. But this time he's dressed like this because he's scaling money and, sharing it with people, especially one who are in need. What this card represents that we will feel, um, the richness of life, the richness of life that is on every aspect of life, not only on the material. So this is why the richness of life is supporting us, and we have to and need to keep the balance. So that's why we need to share things with others, especially with those who are in need, right, and who are in distress. But as also in the beginning of the week the situation is only temporary, also the end of the week is also just a temporary situation, is a present moment happiness, and is the present moment happiness where giving and receiving is taking place. So it's a short time, but we can do it many times, and this is not what we want, but this is coming from the need of our heart, the goodness of our heart, is creating the balance in the world. This is also the card that now I just got the idea in my head for quite some time ago. I don't even remember the title, but there is an animated movie clip on YouTube about Buddha's life, and there is this. So I don't have enough space on my phone to make a video, so it just cut me off, and I had to delete. And now I will be quick and short. So to continue this story about about a short animated clip about Buddha's life, where he comes in the yard, in the backyard or in front yard, and he sees a person that collects garbage, sitting there and crying, and he goes to him and he asks him, "Why are you crying?" And he wants to help him up, and he said, "Oh no, Buddha, please don't touch me. I'm so dirty." And Buddha said to him, "No, you and I are the same. Only that you clean garbage from people's houses. I clean garbage from people's hearts." So I think this is really nice message for the end of the week. So you will be able to, to share your fortune with others from the heart. And I think this is it, I don't want to get cut off again. So this is it, people. This is a general reading. If you would like to have a personal reading, write an email or make a comment. If you would like to have a psychic advice or a Celtic cross reading, also can write an email and we can arrange something. So I am really glad the sun is shining, so I'm sharing this with you. A big smile on my face. I am really looking forward to hear from you, and looking forward to see you. So this is it. Goodbye.